Well, welcome everyone to the Kicks tutorial. Yes, that's how the name of the game is pronounced, Kicks. This is a tutorial for the Big 20 race, number 3, which is going to happen on September 5th, 2015 at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. You can go to our website, thebestofnest.com, to get details on this event and other things that Best of Nest does. So we've got a couple people here to help us today. We've got Scraf here. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good, thanks for being here.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got Enemy here as well. How you doing, Enemy?
Hello, Fiesel.
Hi. Thanks for joining us. So, Scraf and Enemy are going to lead this tutorial, and myself, I'm Fiesel. We've also got Mythical9 here, who helps me to put these things together. We're not on stream, but we're here in spirit, I guess.
Yeah, making sure that this crazy, complicated thing we're undertaking stays on track.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got Jorf, Jimmy Poopins, and Toad here, who are not experts at this game, but are going to become experts within the span of this tutorial. They're going to become
Within the span of 30 seconds.
Yes.
That's absolutely true.
Can't wait.
So, okay, without further ado, why don't you introduce us to this game? How do you even play this? What are the controls? What are the rules?
Okay, so what you do, you have a board that you need to cover up. The threshold for the stages you're doing is 65%, so you need to cover up 65% of the board. And there's 3 main ways that you can do this. The first way, which is kind of what Toad and Jorf did, you can make little towers and play it very safe. The problem with this strategy is that it's very slow, but it's the most safe out of the 3 I'm going to show. Some controls that you use the D-pad to obviously move the thing. You can't move it out onto the spaces you haven't drawn unless you're holding A or B. A is a fast draw and B is a slow draw. You have 2 sparks on the side of the screen and 1 like weird stick thing that's the actual kicks. If you take too long, more sparks will show up and attempt to end you. So, as you can see, this strategy, I haven't got caught out by the kicks yet. It's very safe, but as you can see, it's very slow to do.
This looks dangerous because the sparks are almost going to hit you, though, right? I mean, the sparks will follow these lines.
Right, the sparks will still hit you.
Yeah.
Alright, the second stage is the exact same as the first, so I'm going to take an opportunity to show another strategy. I call this the half and half. So what you do, you cover up, you go straight up and cover kind of half of the board, and then I died here because I played it too risky, but you go to about just above halfway, and you cover another half of the board. That's very safe to do because you just make 2 lines, and it covers up most of the board, enough for the threshold.
Right, so it looks like you're going a little less than half, maybe like 40% of the way, and as long as you do that once, and then, 40% out of the remaining 60, that's enough to give you what you need.
Right. Now for the third stage, it's different because there's 2 kickses. Kickses, which are the stick enemies.
Oh no, we know the name of one kicks, but what is the plural?
So, a way to end the stage rather quickly is to split the kicks, which I did not do here. But if you capture a kicks, like if you draw a line between the 2 kicks, which I cannot do for some reason, the game gets confused and automatically skips you to the next level, because the game cannot capture a kicks. And that's how the game works.
What does capture a kicks mean? How do you capture kicks?
You trap it in a box, so to speak. So I'll get myself in another game here.
I thought
and show you what
that the box is always appearing on whichever part that you covered up that doesn't include a kicks.
Right, and trapping the kicks is including it.
Yeah,
so
when you split them, you can't. One of those sides has to fill in.
I see. So you can only do it when there's 2. You split it, and it doesn't know which one to do, so it just beats the stage.
Exactly. And then if you split it, that means you beat the level and you beat the goal, and you can move on to a better game.
Okay. Are you disappointed that it's only 3 stages, or would you like to have seen more in this goal?
I don't honestly know.
you know, for the games that we have included on this Big 20, I think this is kind of an okay palate cleanser.
All right.
Yes.
You need a nice softball.
A little bit. You know, you're coming out of Rocky and Bullwinkle, the best game on the list, and you need to calm down a little bit after that one.
Disagree?
Really?
So for the menu transitions, you just use start for all of them, except for the one going into stage 3 where you press A. And what I just did there, I quote-unquote split them, so the game gets confused and automatically goes to the next stage. And it's after this attempt. So right about there. The points multiply by 2, and then you just beat the stage.
Neat. Okay, so that's how you can do it. What do you recommend for someone who wants speed?
Speed? Half and half is always a good strategy. The strategy I use at runs, although it's very unsafe, is that I try to trap the kicks in a box in the corner. It's very RNG dependent, which I don't like at all, and I wouldn't recommend it for racing. But I just trap it in a corner, and since the kicks is not in the bigger section, it covers the bigger section, and that way you can just do it in one stroke.
Okay, is this kicks random the way it moves?
It is random, yes.
It seems
it's seeded by direction, but I'm not sure how.
So
It is
he seems to go
highly-
right more often than left at the very beginning of the first level, all right?
Right.
So that's why in level 1 you draw your line a little bit towards the left side of the screen because the kicks is going right.
Yes.
And I guess because that's where you appear, right?
Right, you always appear in the center screen.
Bottom center.
Speaking of appearing, when you die, everything respawns in the same place it was. So that's just something to watch out for. Like, if a kicks is right above you, you can't just go right away, or you'll lose a stupid life right away.
Oh, interesting. So if you die, just take a look at where everything is because it's gonna come right back there. Okay.
Right. If you even touch a part of the kicks, even if it's just one of the after images, you die. So that's something to definitely be careful about. Anything to add, Enemy? Or...
Well, so I think the important thing is that because this game is so heavy on RNG, that if you wanted to pursue trying to do this in the fastest way possible, which is a sub 30-second time, you just have to be cognizant of what to look for in the RNG that you're given. And that's really going to come down to sort of level 2, but really level 3, with the kicks is splitting apart. If they do that, or I'm sorry, Jimmy said it should be pronounced Kixen like oxen, so let's go with that.
Okay.
So if they split apart, then it's still a risk, but they can stay together a lot tighter. I'm going to do some level 3 here and show you. This is not so great.
You have
And
a
then
safe
I
state
get hit
level
right there. Yeah, of course I do. You know, you got to be prepared for things like this. So they can stay together tight, and then you're just going to have to kind of break off and do your own thing. And the half and half at that point is probably the way to go. But if they give you an opening, then you might be able to get in there and make some moves. So it's really just about, if you want to take that risk, you can do so, but you need to know what to look for, which is that they separate, and then you try to get in there as quickly as you can. But even so, they can collapse pretty quickly.
Right. As you see on my screen, I was just barely able to trap them. That's just a matter of RNG, essentially.
Huh.
And if they split, lucky you. If not, you're gonna have to try safe strat.
Now you can't be hit by the kicks if you're in a wall, right? Even if it bumps into the wall right on top of you, you won't be killed?
No, you can only get hit by sparks at that point.
Okay. Does the spark have any kind of algorithm for whether it takes a branch or not?
Like if you're doing a safe strat and it just goes along the wall in the direction it's going. One goes clockwise, one goes counterclockwise, and just follows the walls.
But won't they walk onto your lines? They do walk onto your lines, but how does it choose whether it wants to do that or stay where it is?
That is only if you take too long and the red bar at the top depletes. Those sparks can go on your line. And the other ones cannot.
Oh, so it's just the special sparks that will follow your line, and that doesn't spawn until that red bar at the top of the screen, which I had not seen until you said that a second ago, depletes entirely. Then you get other sparks.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, I remember seeing the sparks go on Jorf's line, that's why. Since there were 4 or 6 on his screen.
And it looks like a death is pretty quick. How many deaths do you get? How many lives
You
do
have
get?
you have 4 deaths before game over.
Okay. Okay, that's an interesting
It makes
strat.
a dip.
Sorry, go on.
I was just saying, it makes a different sound if you do the slow movement.
Oh, it does.
I'm blown away.
It's a different sound if what?
High tech.
Why would you do the slow movement? Is there any reason to?
Double the points, baby.
Just for more points?
Yeah.
That's for points. Yeah.
Okay.
There's
think it's
no
been a
use for it in
point goal.
races at all.
Alright, got it. So only the fast one.
Unless you want points, then by all means go for slow.
Okay. Huxley has pointed out what could be a pretty useful technique. He says in the 3rd level, he suggests making a small tower, and then trying to separate them by making a line from the top of the tower. From the top right of the tower. So you can make a little tower first. Yeah, enemy's doing it right now. And then he can...
Is it working?
So far, so good.
Yeah, looks pretty good.
This isn't the 3rd level, though.
Oh, that's level 2. Alright, yeah.
Here, let me get on 3rd level and give it a
Like,
shot.
if you do
Alright,
it
I'm gonna try that.
tiny little increments, it's a good way to build a tower really safely.
Yes, it is the safest way. Yeah. Except they converged right as I was going through them. But that
Oop.
seems to work. Yeah, because that splits them because one goes on the other side of the tower.
Interesting.
Right.
Okay, that's a possibility.
Right.
I don't know, it seems you're still pretty much helpless once you get next to them. You just need to hope
That they don't
move at
converge.
Well,
At a certain
right.
point, that can be true, certainly.
Sure.
You try to pick your spots, really.
Hmm.
Right. I guess, yeah, learning to read the kicks and just see if you can predict what they're going to do. I mean, you can always just wait. If you do the tower method, you can always just wait at the top of your tower until it looks nice and safe, and then go.
Right, the only problem with that is sparks.
Yes, the
Right.
sparks.
That is the only problem.
Yeah, to be honest, you have enough lives, and the deaths are so quick that I think probably the best thing is just to go for it, and just keep going for it
Hmm.
until you get it. Because, you know, if you die, so what? You're probably going to spend more time if you wait around and try to be cautious than if you just try to go and, you know, bisect the whole playing field.
Right.
That's probably true. The only caveat to that is you really wouldn't want a game over, but even if you did, it's probably
It's-
not going
it's
to
a
be the end of the
quick
world.
game.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you'll only lose about 45 seconds, possibly.